Now brimming with excitement over Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
People just rallied right to her side. The enthusiasm in this big, diverse, representative party was amazing.
Harris now says she's secured the support of most of the delegates. The party's Rules Committee meets later this week to formalize the next steps. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
President Biden back at the White House after recovering from COVID in Delaware. Tomorrow night, he'll address the nation about his decision to drop out of the presidential race. Most businesses have recovered from last week's global IT outage, but Delta Airlines is still canceling flights, and federal transportation officials say they want to know why.
Passengers have been stuck for days trying to get flights. Kelly Roberts for 4 days.
Actually, I didn't sleep at the airport. I stood in line all night long.
And without Delta Airlines showing it has a plan to get back on track, and with hundreds more cancellations today, the Department of Transportation is launching an investigation into Delta, primarily how it's handling customer service amid complaints it says it's been getting that Delta has not been upholding its end to take care of stranded customers. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Delta canceled another 500 flights just today. That outage was due to a faulty software patch. You're listening to ABC News.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
McDonald's says it will extend its $5 value meal deal as a way to combat rising fast food costs.
We have seen several fast food chains, including Burger King, Starbucks, Taco Bell, and Wendy's, offer these $5 meals to try to entice customers frustrated with high prices. Overall, the cost of going out to eat has outpaced the cost of groceries every month so far this year.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. The company says the value meal deal has helped bring back customers. The Olympics begin later this week, and some athletes are arriving to the Olympic Village surprised by their cardboard beds in their rooms.
Diver Tom Daly posting about the cardboard beds athletes will have to sleep on.
As you can see, it's like a box. Then you've got the mattress, and then these cardboard boxes here, like so, with the mattress on top and a mattress topper.
Paris organizers have said the beds were chosen for environmental reasons, not to discourage athletes from having, say, too much fun.
They're pretty sturdy.
Inez de la Cuetera, ABC News, Paris.
Animal activists applauding a ban on centuries-old tradition in Colombia. The country's president signing a bill banning bullfighting in that country. The bill calls on the complete ban of bullfights by 2027. Existing bull rings will be turned into cultural and sporting venues instead. Critics of the ban say bullfighting is part of the cultural heritage and say they'll challenge it in court. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, July 23rd. A fast-spreading brush fire caused some tense moments for neighbors in West Port Angeles last night. The fire burned in a field near the 1700 block of West 14th Street. Initial reports of smoke at about 6:20 p.m. quickly escalated as flames driven by the winds threatened nearby structures. The Port Angeles Fire Department called for mutual aid from Clallam to fire rescue while en route. The first engine on scene found fences near houses burning, with the fire spreading east and north. The PA Police Department evacuated residents in the fire's path as additional aid was requested from Clallam County Fire Districts 3 and 4. Officials say they focused on protecting homes along 13th and 14th Streets as that fire burned less than 10 feet from the structures there. Homeowners assisted by wetting down grass along the roadway. Crews established fire lines and contained the blaze after it scorched about 5 acres of grass and brush and some sections of fencing. No buildings were burned, though, and no one was hurt. Crews cleared the scene about 9 last night. The Port Angeles Police Department now investigating the cause. On Sunday, about 10 p.m., emergency personnel responded to a fire near Bean Road that was possibly started by fireworks. Witnesses told police that there were kids using fireworks in a nearby trailer park before they started the fire, that a bystander was trying to put out the fire, and that a man in the trailer park came out of his trailer and fired several shots in the air with a handgun, and no one is sure why. PA police, assisted by Lower Elwha police officers, investigated the report of shots fired, located the suspect. They also found spent shell casings outside of a trailer. They learned that the suspect, 51-year-old Daniel Bertelson, was a convicted felon and prohibited from possessing firearms. They got a search warrant, seized the firearm, and arrested the suspect, whose previous criminal history includes convictions for possession of an explosive device, possession of stolen property, and manslaughter. Bertelson was booked for unlawful possession of a firearm and unlawful discharge of a firearm. The prosecutor now reviewing the case for formal charges. Clallam County will restart its Animal Issues Advisory Committee following the impending closure of the Olympic Peninsula Humane Society's Barkhouse facility due to financial difficulties. County commissioners making the decision to restart the committee at Monday's work session, which featured at least a dozen representatives of local animal welfare organizations, all of them joining law enforcement in concerns about how to house dogs that are impounded going forward. County Commissioner Mark Ozias tells us that he will get to work with Sheriff Brian King over the next 2 days to get a draft resolution prepared and hopefully have it ready by next week's work session. Here was Ozias at yesterday's session.
What it sounds to me like is that we have really all of the necessary people and bits of expertise to look at reestablishing the Animal Advisory Committee in a way that might actually help us move this conversation forward productively. So as an immediate next step, the commissioners and the sheriff's office will start working together to go through the process to look at reestablishing that advisory committee.
He said he's very hopeful that the increased level of communication and coordination that should arise from the effort will go a long way toward making sure the community is working together and with a unified strategy moving forward. Sheriff King also emphasized during yesterday's work session the need for a holistic solution involving the entire community.
I don't think it can just be law enforcement. I think it needs to be the community and law enforcement to come together and brainstorm, look for solutions, see if there's another organization that's willing to step up. I mean, none of this is cheap. There can be a true solution is going to require a lot of money. And so I hope that as a collective, the community, everybody can come together and provide us with some solutions that I can't think of.
One hopeful sign that a solution could be in the works came when the owners of Foxbell Farm, a horse training facility, expressed some interest in purchasing the Barkhouse property. There was little discussion about that at the meeting yesterday, but Ozias told us that it's his assumption that Foxbell and OPHS will be exploring the idea together to see if they can work out a path forward. More news after this.
When it comes to price and quality, nobody compares to Bathfitter Northwest. Over 40 years in business and 40,000 local remodels. Their own factory-trained installation team, no subs. And you always get their price match guarantee. Read their reviews. When it comes to an amazing, affordable bath in as little as 1 day, there's no comparison to Bathfitter. Now to celebrate their 40th anniversary, get $1,000 off. 800-NEW-BATH or bathfitternw.com.
We live in a spectacular setting, perfect for your dream home. Now, if we can just make it affordable. I have good news for you. Mountain View Homes in Sequim can make your dream home affordable. Mountain View Homes offer full-service land packages, dirt to turnkey manufactured homes for far less than stick-built, 40 to 50% less. It's worth checking out. Give Mountain View Homes a call right here in Carlsberg or visit mountainviewhomes.com. That's mtviewhomes.com.
Rising costs for necessities and healthcare? What's it Work and Family do? I am Nate Tyler, a candidate for the 24th District. My roots run deep. I am the only candidate born and raised here. I am running for the State House. I served in the Marine Corps, own a small business, and served 12 years on the Makah Tribal Council. In Olympia, I will fight to lower costs, access mental and behavioral health services, and quality affordable childcare for our working families. I ask for your vote in August. Paid for by Vote Nate Tyler, Democrat.
In other news, a 36-year-old Port Angeles man is in custody on multiple charges after leading law enforcement on a high-speed pursuit Sunday afternoon. Skylar Vestal is suspected of stealing a Ford pickup truck on Barr Road about 1 Sunday afternoon. State Trooper Catherine Weatherwax told KONP that troopers joined sheriff's deputies in the pursuit on Carlsberg Road and that Vestal was traveling at speeds up to 100 miles an hour. Within 15 minutes, she says Vestal was pulled over and being held at gunpoint on Thompson Farm Lane near Sequim. Vestal was booked on multiple charges, including DUI, possession of a stolen vehicle, driving while license suspended, possession of controlled substances, and reckless endangerment. Vestal's no stranger to law enforcement or the courts. In 2018, he was sentenced last to 9 months in jail after pleading guilty to strong armed robbery. That incident began when he stole a car right in front of its owner at Fairmount Avenue in Port Angeles, crashed the vehicle near Beaver, and while the car was burning on the side of the road, another motorist from Forks stopped to offer assistance, and Vestal stole her car too. Vestal was later arrested by a state trooper and booked into the county jail on that. A Tacoma woman arrested last year for repeatedly refusing tuberculosis treatment has been cured, according to the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. Health officials spent over a year trying to persuade the woman to isolate and seek treatment. In February last year, the department sought an arrest warrant from Pierce County Superior Court for the 16th time, a rare measure to protect public health. A judge issued the warrant in March of last year, ordering Pierce County Sheriff's deputies to take the woman to jail for isolation, testing, and treatment. She was arrested in June 2023 and treated in a negative pressure room at the jail. This is Newsradio KONP.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Hello, summer. The Wanda Fuqua Foundation for the Arts free summer concerts on the pier is back. Join us for some of music's brightest performers in a setting unlike anywhere else. From big band to rock, folk, and soul, with some local favorites rounding out the series. New this year to summer concerts on the pier, a beer and wine garden will help keep you cool as the music. The summer concerts on the pier, every Wednesday night at the PA Pier. Go to jffa.org for all the details.
Ever looked at your window coverings and thought, ugh, might I suggest new window treatments from the Blind Store in Sequim? I know. It doesn't sound like it would make that much of a difference, but do me a favor. Take a good look at what you have now. See the dust, the age, that one janky cord that doesn't actually open or close anymore? Well, McCrory's Blind Store in Sequim can make that better. With more options than you knew existed, the Blind Store will pair you with the perfect window coverings, all at 20% off. The Blind Store by McCrory, next to the licensing depot in Sequim.
Just a traffic advisory for you, a bit of some breaking news. We have reports of a pedestrian versus vehicle accident. It's at the corner of Race and Front Streets. Emergency vehicles there, and traffic is being diverted, so that's tying up traffic on Front. Again, a pedestrian and a vehicle tangling there at the intersection of Front and Race.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Ample sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 64. Winds out of the northwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Highs level off around 64 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times and dry Thursday and Friday. Low 60s. Thursday, mid 60s by Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast. 67 Saturday, 67 Sunday, and 68 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 66 degrees.
I'm Alex Sobario. The Green Bay Packers opened training camp on Monday, and even though quarterback Jordan Love was in the building, he did not participate in team practices. Love and his representatives informed the Packers that he'll not participate in practice or preseason games without a new contract. Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst addressed the situation Monday, said they understand where Love is coming from. As for head coach Matt LaFleur, he's hopeful a deal can get resolved soon.
You know, obviously we're hopeful we'll get something done here in the next, sooner than later. But that's something that we're going to have to just adjust on the fly.
Love did participate in the entire offseason program, including the team's minicamp. Gutekunst said the team working hard to get a deal done within the next few days. Team USA men's basketball finished off Germany Monday in their final tune-up for the Paris Olympics. LeBron James scoring the final 11 points in a 92-88 win to improve to 5-0 in Olympic exhibitions. But still missing from the floor is Kevin Durant, who is still dealing with a right calf strain and did not play in any of the other games. The Americans have until Saturday to make a change to their roster, but as of now, head coach Steve Kerr adamant that Durant will be on Team USA.
I talked to him today. He said he was feeling better. We're hoping that he can put together a couple of practices in a row and a scrimmage and get through that well, and that he'll be available for us. But it's kind of day to day.
The Americans will open pool play at the Olympics against Serbia on Sunday in France. And despite not being chosen by the NBA to continue as a media partner, Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of TNT Sports, informed the NBA that they would be matching a reported $1.8 billion deal to be Amazon Prime's package in an attempt to keep NBA governors approved 11-year deals with Disney, the parent company of ESPN, NBC, and Amazon last Tuesday that will collectively pay the league $76 billion over 11 seasons.
In some local sports, the Victoria Harbor Cats secured a decisive 7-1 victory against the Port Angeles Lefties in the West Coast League matchup of the two at Civic Field last night. The Harbor Cats now holding a 19-21 record, tallying 14 hits and committing only 2 errors. Port Angeles, with a 13-27 record on the year, now managed just 6 hits and 3 errors in the night. Same two teams play again tonight, 6:30 at Civic Field.
Swinging a ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. Drury to third being waved in. Up with the ball, Robles. The throw to the plate, way up the third base line. The ball gets away from Cal. Drury scores. Here comes Neto. Rounding third, heading home. He's going to score. The ball is loose up the first base side. Backing up is Thornton. He gets to the ball along the first base line, but 2 runs are in. And Joe Adell, after all that, winds up on at third base.
Joe Adell drove in that go-ahead run with a 2-out single in the 9th inning. The LA Angels went on to beat the Seattle Mariners 3-1 last night. Mariners and Angels at it again tonight, 5:30 airtime here on KONP.
With temperatures sizzling, there's relief today from Olympic Hearth and Spa. Don't delay. Get cool today with a new heat pump that can be installed in one day.
Hello, Clallam County. I'm Pat Ryder with Olympic Hearth and Spa. It's not too late to get cooling relief before the height of summer. Our ductless and ducted heat pumps are game changers and the most efficient way to heat and cool your home. Affordable, energy efficient, year-round comfort. Call us today for install this week.
Olympic Hearth and Spa in Squim will match or beat other prices. Call the one-stop cooling shop, Olympic Hearth and Spa, 360-582-6193. That's 360-582-6193. Dive into summer with Olympic Hearth and Spa. Upgrade your outdoor space with a hot tub or invest in your health with a swim spa. Olympic Hearth and Spa in Squim, your one-stop shop for sales, service, and installation. Visit OlympicHearthandSpa.com.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Federal Trade Commission is looking into whether MasterCard, JP Morgan Chase, and several other firms that provide software to Starbucks, McDonald's, Kirkland, and Home Depot are using consumers' personal data to tailor the price of products to individuals. Setting different prices based on a person's location, past purchases, and personal data is called surveillance pricing. The FTC is considering rules to protect consumer privacy and limit what data can be collected without consent. UPS has not delivered as promised. The company's shares are down 13% after reporting profit well short of Wall Street's estimates. The company is dealing with higher labor costs in an environment of weaker demand. Stocks today are up between a fraction and a 0.1%. Both Tesla and Alphabet will kick off the Magnificent Seven earnings season after the bell. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Check on the traffic next, brought to you by Angela's Furniture and Olympic Medical Center.
If you're an Angela's Furniture customer, you'll never be taken for granted. At Angela's Furniture, you're the top priority.
We really appreciate our customers. We try to treat everybody with the utmost respect. We go the extra mile to try to take care of them when they buy something from us, and even when they don't buy something from us. You know, we look at it as a long-term relationship, not a one-transaction relationship.
For fine furniture and the treatment you deserve, shop Angela's Furniture on East 1st Street, Port Angeles.
When every second counts, trust the trauma experts at Olympic Medical Center. Accidents happen anytime, day or night. That's why Olympic Medical Center provides 24/7 trauma care every day of the year. Our dedicated trauma team is here around the clock to handle your emergencies with expertise and compassion. Olympic Medical Center, your hometown partner in trauma care. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/trauma care.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. That's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the roads for us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, busy day. If you're out and about, you definitely want to bring your lucky stars with you. Be careful out there. A lot of stuff going on. Port Angeles area, we do have our construction downtown around the Lincoln Street and Front Street area, so just be careful through that area. A couple of vehicle or pedestrian vehicle accidents up around Ray Street in front first. Be very careful as you're making way through. I know you got a lot of traffic to watch, but you got to watch those intersections for pedestrians and be careful out there. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim right now, no real problems. It is busy, but moving along at the speed limit. Beyond that, we have the Hood Canal Bridge good to go with no scheduled openings coming up this afternoon, but state ferries are running behind today pretty much across the board, so definitely want to check their website if you're going to be catching a ferry this afternoon. If you're headed out to the west end, it is definitely busy out there. You want to take care. The bridge is open on 101, but it is down to single lane as they continue doing some work down there, so that has caused about a 10-minute delay to get across the OWA bridge. Not so bad, a lot better than 112, and it should be a beautiful drive for you. So everybody take care. Enjoy your afternoon. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
So many parents tell their kids to count sheep if they can't sleep. Did you ever wonder who came up with that idea? And if it even really works? My colleague Sandy Lamont looked into this the other day, and as far as she could tell, the advice dates back to at least the 12th century. It was said to be a way for medieval shepherds, devoid of human company for weeks at a time, to fall asleep every night. They just counted their sheep until drowsy. Does it work, though? Scientists can't say for sure, but here's what they say does work. Visualize relaxation, whatever that looks, sounds, feels, smells, or even tastes like to you. Practicing gratitude or counting your blessings, that can also be a really powerful tool. So can putting pen to paper with any problems, solutions, or to-do list items. Anything you can offload from your brain to pick back up on tomorrow. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. There are so many amazing stories about brave Americans in battle. But did you hear the story of the cavalry that went into battle with no horses? I'll tell you that story after this important message.
If you've been hearing my radio programs now for the last 20 years, you know that I've been telling the true stories of those who have followed God's ways to make America the greatest nation in the world. So what's the latest? Well, we're now doing this nation-saving work full-time, and we need your help by becoming one of our ambassadors, subscribing to All We Have for just $5.95 per month. To get what? Number one, full access to our amazing website that is full of over 100 true stories to teach us with these stories how America is to act and operate. We also have lessons for all ages to teach us what we must do now. And our children, they will be our nation's leaders very soon. I will have live presentations online for you to hear, maybe even to participate. And when must this all get started? Now. Call our offices today at 817-995-6965 or go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and email our office. God bless you.
In 1898, when America went to war with Spain, a young man by the name of Theodore Roosevelt had quite a reputation for being a frontiersman, ready for any task. So he asked permission to form a small army of a special cavalry force to help fight that war. He put together an all-volunteer group of 1,000 horsemen who came to be known as Rough Riders. They were ready to fight. But when they were shipped to battle, their horses were left behind. A cavalry with no horses? Did they quit? No. They fought on foot up San Juan Hill and won that battle. Wow. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Danny Van Vliet. The FBI has issued a warning about the rising crime trend in Washington State known as jugging. This involves criminals targeting individuals leaving ATMs or buildings with large amounts of cash, either robbing them at the scene or following them to another location. The thieves may track victims for extended periods. To avoid becoming a victim, stay alert, be aware of suspicious individuals around ATMs and parking lots, and when in doubt, call 911. An Eastern Washington resident is accusing Spokane County Commissioner Al French and the Spokane Airport of withholding information about the 2017 water contamination. An activist on PFAS contamination claims the information was kept silent. French denies the allegations. The airport is under an enforcement order from the Department of Ecology and is actively investigating the contamination. DUI driver crashed on I-5 while being followed by Thurston County Sheriff's deputies. The incident began when deputies attempted to stop a driver on Old Pacific Highway Southeast for speeding and swerving into oncoming traffic. As the driver turned onto I-5, they crossed into traffic and collided with another vehicle. Upon release of the hospital, the suspect was booked into jail for DUI and attempting to elude. For more, download our free WSN mobile app or WashingtonStateNews.net.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. U.S. Senator Bob Menendez is resigning from office August 20th, following his conviction for taking bribes for corrupt acts, including acting as an agent of the Egyptian government. That's according to a person familiar with the matter who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity. House Speaker Mike Johnson responds to the news that Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle has resigned.
Our reaction, the immediate reaction to her resignation, is that it is overdue. She should have done this at least a week ago. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that she has heeded the call of both Republicans and Democrats.
Cheadle, who had served as Secret Service Director since August 2022, had been facing growing calls to resign. Meanwhile, a bipartisan House task force has been launched to investigate the Trump rally shooting for July 13th, rather. Correspondent Ernie Bennett has details.
House Speaker Mike Johnson and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries announced Tuesday the creation of a bipartisan House task force to investigate the Trump assassination attempt. The two congressional leaders said in a joint statement, quote, "The security failures that allowed an assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life are shocking. In response to bipartisan demands for answers, we are announcing a House task force made up of 7 Republicans and 6 Democrats to thoroughly investigate the matter." The statement also said the task force will make recommendations for reform to relevant government agencies. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Also at townhall.com, now that she's secured the support of enough Democratic delegates to become her party's nominee against Donald Trump, after President Biden stepped aside on Sunday, Vice President Harris hitting the campaign trail today. Harris delivering remarks at a campaign event in Milwaukee. Stocks are higher, the Dow up 51 points, and the NASDAQ is adding 28. More at townhall.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
On the international front, foreign correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports Ukrainian, Italian, and Lithuanian athletes are among the first arrivals at Paris's international airport ahead of the Olympics.
With the start of the Olympics just days away, athletes from around the world are touching down in Paris ahead of Friday's opening ceremony. All of them have high expectations. Italian rower Vincenzo Abagnale says he hopes to perform at his best.
We are a good preparation. I hope for our best performance.
Ukrainian athletes too are present despite the backdrop of war in their homeland. Another rower, Anastasia Kozhenkova, we're grateful to our armed forces, but I wanted the victory here to be the same as the victory at home. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Coca-Cola raising full-year sales guidance after a stronger-than-expected second quarter.
The Atlanta beverage giant said it now expects organic sales to grow between 9 and 10% this year, up from 8 to 9% previously. Coke says its revenue rose 3% to $12.4 billion for the April to June period. That was higher than Wall Street anticipated. Earnings fell 5% to 56 cents per share.
Correspondent Jeremy House adjusted for one-time items, including currency fluctuations. Coke earned 84 cents per share. That also beat Wall Street's forecast. Coke says its unit case volumes rose 2% globally, while it hiked prices 9%. One of Oscar Mayer's hot dog-shaped Wienermobiles ended up flipped on its side after crashing on a suburban Chicago highway. Oscar Mayer says there were no injuries. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, July 23rd. A fast-spreading brush fire caused some tense moments for neighbors in West Port Angeles last night. The fire burned in a field near the 1700 block of West 14th Street. Initial reports of smoke at about 6:20 p.m. quickly escalated as flames driven by the winds threatened nearby structures. The Port Angeles Fire Department called for mutual aid from Clallam 2 Fire Rescue while en route. The first engine on scene found fences near houses burning, with the fire spreading east and north. The PA Police Department evacuated residents in the fire's path as additional aid was requested from Clallam County Fire Districts 3 and 4. Officials say they focused on protecting homes along 13th and 14th Streets as that fire burned less than 10 feet from the structures there. Homeowners assisted by wetting down grass along the roadway. Crews established fire lines and contained the blaze after it scorched about 5 acres of grass and brush and some sections of fencing. No buildings were burned, though, and no one was hurt. Crews cleared the scene about 9 last night. The Port Angeles Police Department now investigating the cause. On Sunday, about 10 p.m., emergency personnel responded to a fire near Bean Road that was possibly started by fireworks. Witnesses told police that there were kids using fireworks in a nearby trailer park before they started the fire, that a bystander was trying to put out the fire, and that a man in the trailer park came out of his trailer and fired several shots in the air with a handgun, and no one is sure why. PA police, assisted by Lower Elwha police officers, investigated the report of shots fired, located the suspect. They also found spent shell casings outside of a trailer. They learned that the suspect, 51-year-old Daniel Bertelson, was a convicted felon and prohibited from possessing firearms. They got a search warrant, seized the firearm, and arrested the suspect, whose previous criminal history includes convictions for possession of an explosive device, possession of stolen property, and manslaughter. Bertelson was booked for unlawful possession of a firearm and unlawful discharge of a firearm. The prosecutor now reviewing the case for formal charges. Lallam County will restart its Animal Issues Advisory Committee following the impending closure of the Olympic Peninsula Humane Society's Barkhouse facility due to financial difficulties. County commissioners making the decision to restart the committee at Monday's work session, which featured at least a dozen representatives of local animal welfare organizations, all of them joining law enforcement in concerns about how to house dogs that are impounded going forward. County Commissioner Mark Ozias tells us that he will get to work with Sheriff Brian King over the next 2 days to get a draft resolution prepared and hopefully have it ready by next week's work session. It was Ozias at yesterday's session.
What it sounds to me like is that we have really all of the necessary people and bits of expertise to look at reestablishing the Animal Advisory Committee in a way that might actually help us move this conversation forward productively. So as an immediate next step, the commissioners and the sheriff's office will start working together to go through the process to look at reestablishing that advisory committee.
He said he's very hopeful that the increased level of communication and coordination that should arise from the effort will go a long way toward making sure the community is working together and with a unified strategy moving forward. Sheriff King also emphasized during yesterday's work session the need for a holistic solution involving the entire community.
I don't think it can just be law enforcement. I think it needs to be the community and law enforcement to come together and brainstorm, look for solutions, see if there's another organization that's willing to step up. I mean, none of this is cheap. There can be a true solution is going to require a lot of money. And so I hope that as a collective, the community, everybody can come together and provide us with some solutions that I can't think of.
One hopeful sign that a solution could be in the works came when the owners of Foxbell Farm, a horse training facility, expressed some interest in purchasing the Barkhouse property. There was little discussion about that at the meeting yesterday, but Ozias told us that it's his assumption that Foxbell and OPHS will be exploring the idea together to see if they can work out a path forward. In other news, a 36-year-old Port Angeles man is in custody on multiple charges after leading law enforcement on a high-speed pursuit Sunday afternoon. Skylar Vestal is suspected of stealing a Ford pickup truck on Barr Road about 1 Sunday afternoon. State Trooper Catherine Weatherwax told KONP that troopers joined sheriff's deputies in the pursuit on Carlsberg Road and that Vestal was traveling at speeds up to 100 miles an hour. Within 15 minutes, she says Vestal was pulled over and being held at gunpoint on Thompson Farm Lane near Squim. Vestal was booked on multiple charges, including DUI, possession of a stolen vehicle, driving while license suspended, possession of controlled substances, and reckless endangerment. Vestal's no stranger to law enforcement or the courts. In 2018, he was sentenced last to 9 months in jail after pleading guilty to strong-armed robbery. That incident began when he stole a car right in front of its owner at Fairmount Avenue in Port Angeles, crashed the vehicle near Beaver, and while the car was burning on the side of the road, another motorist from Forks stopped to offer assistance, and Vestal stole her car too. Vestal was later arrested by a state trooper and booked into the county jail on that. A Tacoma woman arrested last year for repeatedly refusing tuberculosis treatment has been cured, according to the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. Health officials spent over a year trying to persuade the woman to isolate and seek treatment. In February last year, the department sought an arrest warrant from Pierce County Superior Court for the 16th time, a rare measure to protect public health. A judge issued the warrant in March of last year, ordering Pierce County Sheriff's deputies to take the woman to jail for isolation, testing, and treatment. She was arrested in June 2023 and treated in a negative pressure room at the jail. This is Newsradio KONP.
Airport Garden Center would like to give a huge thank you to our customers.
Arigato. Gracias. Merci.
Thank you very much.
Who took the time to nominate us for Best of Clallam County in the categories of Best Employer, Garden Store, Farm Supply Store, Animal Supply Store, Customer Service, Landscaping, and Unique Gift Store. It's such an honor for us and all of our fellow local small businesses to be recognized. We vote you Best Customers. This month at Airport Garden Center, our wide variety of roses are on sale. Choose fragrant, miniature, climbing, or tree. And now through the end of the month, buy 3 roses, get the 4th free while supplies last. Come enjoy our garden and perhaps add a beautiful addition to your garden. Ask us about tips and tricks for creating the most beautiful garden of your own that will flourish for years to come. At Airport Garden Center, we do promise you a rose garden and at discount prices through the end of this month. Enjoy all the aromas of the season with help from Airport Garden Center.
When it comes to price and quality, nobody compares to Bathfitter Northwest. Over 40 years in business and 40,000 local remodels. Their own factory-trained installation team, no subs, and you always get their price match guarantee. Read their reviews. When it comes to an amazing, affordable bath in as little as 1 day, there's no comparison to Bathfitter. Now to celebrate their 40th anniversary, get $1,000 off. 800-NEW-BATH or bathfitternw.com.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
Summer is here. Get out and enjoy it with the free Concerts on the Pier series in Port Angeles, bringing you incredible live music every Wednesday evening. Concerts on the Pier has some of the brightest performers in a setting unlike anywhere else, Wednesday nights through August 28th on City Pier. Concerts on the Pier offers eclectic music, kids activities, food vendors, and the expanded Rhythm and Brews beer and wine garden. The Kiwanis and Rotary Clubs will be on hand with delicious bites and treats. Bring a chair, meet your friends and neighbors, and enjoy a summer evening out every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. at Port Angeles City Pier. Go to jffa.org for the full lineup. It'll be an unforgettable season of live music and a celebration of the arts like no other.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
For some people, their cars are their most prized possessions. Show you care with a gift certificate for high-quality Shell gas and car washes from First Race Car Wash. Gift certificates start at $5 and are great as a thank you, a congratulations, and fit great in birthday cards too. First Race Car Wash on the corner of First and Race, Port Angeles. You're a winner every time when you've got that First Race shine.
Now to the weather forecast. Sunny the rest of the day today, mid-60s to low 70s with variable winds to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight, lows in the upper 40s to mid-50s, west winds to 15 miles per hour this evening. Then mostly sunny again for your Wednesday, and again highs mid-60s to low 70s. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, lows again mid-40s to lower 50s, and then the sunshine returns again on Thursday. Highs will be in the mid-60s to low 70s again. It stays clear Thursday night, lows near 50 and high near 70 with sunshine on the way for Friday. The weekend looking pretty good too if you like the sunshine. Saturday is going to be sunny at a high near 70. Sunday mostly sunny, a high again near 70 degrees, and looks like Monday partly sunny skies on the way with your highs near 70. It is sunny now across the North Olympic Peninsula. Temperatures currently in Port Townsend at the east end, it's 61 degrees. Out west at Forks, it's 71. Squim's got 67 now. A little cooler along the Port Angeles waterfront where it's 57. And out at Fairchild Airport, west of town, it's 66 degrees. We'll get a last look at business news right before Wall Street wraps for the week, right after this. Or I should say wraps for the day right after this.
Hello, I'm Graham Ralston, independent candidate for Congress in Washington's 6th District. I spent 7 years in Washington, D.C. as a senior federal executive. I know what does and doesn't work. I'm a fifth-generation resident of Port Angeles. My top priorities are getting Congress to work, fighting inflation, working on housing, and boosting the local economy. Visit voteralston.com to learn more.
Paid for by Ralston for Congress.
Hi, this is Rod Fleck. I'm asking you to vote for Randy Johnson for County Commissioner so we can keep Randy working for all of us when it comes to the important things like economic development. He's worked hard for decades and ensuring everybody has an opportunity to do better, have a better paying job, and enjoy working and living here in Clallam County. Let's keep Randy working for us. Vote for Randy Johnson this August.
Paid for by the committee to elect Randy Johnson for County Commissioner.
Sign up your kids for free bowling at Laurel Lanes this summer. Go to laurellanes.com or call 360-457-5858 for more information and take part in their Kids Bowl Free program for kids 18 and under. Laurel Lanes strives to provide a fun and safe environment where everyone is welcome. And they serve fantastic pizza too. Plus, there are family passes available so the entire family can join in the fun. Sign up now and come have a ball at Laurel Lanes, 108 West 8th Street.
Here's a look at what's happening. Vendors are wanted. If you make handmade goods, crafts, or even a small business, you can be part of the big sale at the Port Angeles Masonic Hall, August 3rd from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you'd like to be in, an 8-foot table is $25, $40 for two 8-foot tables. You can contact Crystal at 702-491-5776. 702-491-5776. There'll be a big car show happening outside that event, too, on the 3rd. The Clallam Palestine Action Group presenting a film showing of where the olive trees weep. That'll be Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Port Angeles Library in the Raymond Carver Room. They'll have a discussion after that. The latest from the Clallam County Master Gardener's Green Thumb Gardening Education Series is tips and tricks for accessible gardens. That's going to be at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church this Thursday. That runs from noon until 1 p.m. It is free and open to the public. Also Thursday, Field Hall presents Sway Wild, a summertime concert in the Waterfront Sunset Bar and Lounge there with San Juan Island, Washington-based indie folk rock duo Mandy Fair and Dave McGraw. The Uptown Arts District launch party is coming up this Saturday. It's free and open to the public with featured artist Gianna Andrews. They'll be at the Buena Luz Bakery. Help celebrate the official launch of the Uptown Arts District with the first commissioned artwork along Lordson Boulevard. This gets going at 3 o'clock, goes till about 6 o'clock. Squim Prairie Grange teaming up with another local nonprofit organization, the Squim Education Foundation, for this month's Ice Cream Social and Car Show. It's coming up this Sunday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Squim Prairie Grange, 290 Maclay Road. For $7, you can choose between a Sunday banana split with part of the proceeds going to the Squim Education Foundation. And that's a look at what's happening.
Hi, this is Brandon Johnson, General Manager of Price Ford in Port Angeles. The weather is great and so are the deals here at Price Ford.
What kind of great deals do we have, Brandon?
After rebates, up to $10,000 off MSRP and rates as low as 0% for 72 months.
Those are great deals. Our selection hasn't been this good in a couple of years.
Speaking of great selection, our pre-owned inventory is fantastic. We have taken in some amazing trades, many of them low mile, one owner.
So if you're in the market, now's the time to buy. Visit us at priceford.com.
You join us for the Todd Ortloff Show next hour here on KONP. Got a great show lined up for you. Going to be talking in the first part with Clallam County Sheriff Brian King about all sorts of stuff. Second part, we're going to be talking with one of the authors of a new book out called Played, the Games of the 1936 Berlin Olympics, and how history could repeat itself. And then we'll also sit down with at least one of the members of Sway Wild. They'll be performing Thursday evening here in Port Angeles at Field Hall, and we'll get a little bit of an insight into that group. That's all next hour on the TO Show here on KONP. Right now, let's check business news next.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just minutes ago, ahead of Wall Street's closing bell, and stocks on track to end the session with modest gains. Right now, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500, all the major averages up a small fraction each. That's mostly thanks to strong earnings out this morning from big names like General Motors, jet engine maker General Electric, Coca-Cola, and music streaming service Spotify. But it's being offset by sales of existing homes in June. They fell 5.5% to the slowest sales pace in 14 years. Shares of delivery giant UPS down 13% after a disappointing earnings report and full-year outlook. That's because of higher labor costs and from shipping smaller, less profitable packages. And Americans love taking cruises. Thanks to blowout demand, Carnival Cruise Line's announcing today it has ordered 3 new ships, all to be powered by liquefied natural gas. They'll be delivered in 2029, 2031, and 2033. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check at the traffic this noon hour next. Brought to you by The Blind Store by McCrory and Leeds Farm Supply.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Can it, Curly? We love the sun, but not this early. If you want to keep the rays out in the morning, The Blind Store by McCrory has a deal for you. Right now, during their summer sale, you'll save 20% off the best blinds in the industry, like Hunter Douglas, Graber, and Norman. The savings will have you singing a happy tune, but only when you're ready. Shop The Blind Store by McCrory's summer sale going on now in Sequim by the licensing depot.
It's the time of year to get your equipment serviced for the winter, and Leeds Farm Supply can get you taken care of. We service everything from mowers to tractors to handheld chainsaws and weed eaters. We have trained techs to take care of any machine from handhelds to large tractors. We have competitive pricing and a quick turnaround. Call us at 452-1400 and talk to Jeremiah to get your service taken care of. Leeds Farm Supply, your local farm and equipment dealer, and so much more. Located at 259110 Highway 101 in Sequim.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. That is where Steve's standing by with one last look at the noontime road conditions for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, busy out there. If you're out and about, both the Port Angeles and Sequim area, you are going to find a lot of traffic making its way through town. It's just busy out there. Be very careful. Pay attention to your environment around you, because we've already had 2 pedestrians hit already today along First Street and Front Street and Race, that area. So nothing serious, but it's, could be. Be very careful out there. Same with our construction zone downtown Port Angeles area along Lincoln Street, First and Front. Be careful through that area as well. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, definitely busy out there, but moving along at the speed limit. Beyond that, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go with nothing scheduled marine-wise this afternoon. State ferries are all running late this afternoon, so plan ahead and be sure and check their website out before you go. If you're headed out to the West End right now, 101's in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. Excuse me. At the bridge, though, our new bridge, they do have it down to single lane, or they are doing some continuing work down there, getting ready to take down the old bridge. So just be careful through that area. A little bit, about 10-minute delays getting through there. So everybody be safe out there this afternoon, but enjoy yourself. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. It is 12:54 now. They're banning bullfighting in another country where it was a big part of the culture.
Further reducing the short list of nations where the centuries-old tradition is still legal, Colombia's president has signed a bill that bans bullfights. President Gustavo Petro signed it in front of hundreds of animal rights activists during a ceremony Monday in Bogotá's bull ring. The ban was approved by Colombia's Congress in May after months of heated debates. All bullfights are banned by 2027. Bullfighting aficionados argue it's part of cultural heritage, and they say they'll challenge it in court. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Well, all of them are gone now. The Four Tops, the last to go this week. Duke Fakir, he sang tenor for the Four Tops, passed away at the age of 88.
There's a sophisticated and growing $3 billion industry in America. It preys on seniors, but even the most tech-savvy fall for it too. I'm Kim Commando for Incogni. Stop robocalls, spam text, junk email, and remove yourself from the internet. Get 60% off today at privacykim.com. This story is true. After clicking a pop-up ad on her computer, an 82-year-old Maryland woman was contacted by people posing as federal agents. They said that her computer was infected with Russian spyware. If she refused to install their classified government software, Russian criminals would drain her bank account. She would have nothing. The software cost $46,000, and she could only pay with gold. A courier would pick it up at her front door. In all, she lost almost $1 million. If you think that no family member of yours could fall for this, think again. Talk with your parents and family. The government never calls and never does business in gold. Get your private information off the internet right now at privacykim.com. I'll never forget when my son asked me where in Los Angeles I lived so many years ago. I couldn't remember the house number on the street, but a couple of minutes later, Ian read me the exact address. He found it on a People Search website for free, along with my personal cell phone number. Yikes. It's not just me. I hear from folks all the time, shocked at what they can find out about themselves online. That's where Incogni comes in. Instead of navigating these tricky sites, Incogni does the work for you. So far, they've removed me from over 150 websites. Plus, my personal data is on 24 data suppression lists, meaning it's illegal for these companies to get my name ever again. Even better, they check on a regular basis that data brokers didn't sneak me back in. Try it for yourself and see how easy it is. Get 60% off with Incogni at privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com. 60% off now. privacykim.com.
Could eating less actually help you live longer? I'll share my thoughts after this.
Summer is heating up, just like the deals at Omaha Steaks. From perfectly aged steaks to juicy burgers, Omaha Steaks is your summer grilling headquarters. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale at omahasteaks.com for exclusive, unconditional money-back guaranteed packages starting at $99. Plus, get an extra $10 off with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY for an extra $10 off. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale today before these deals go up in smoke.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
How much we eat may have an impact on how long we live. Researchers followed 220 men and women who were assigned to a 25% calorie restriction versus a normal diet for 2 years. They found that a caloric restriction of 25% could slow the aging process by about 2 to 3%. The data is very strong that caloric restriction is associated with significant health and longevity benefits. The question is, how do we incorporate this into our lives? As a nutritionist and as a doctor, I suggest one way to do this is either to start by reducing the volume or the frequency of what we eat. If you have a history of an eating disorder, caloric restriction is not recommended. With Your Body, I'm ABC's Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
I am a radio commercial. You can't see me, but that doesn't mean we can't have a one-on-one conversation. I can be intimate. I can be bold. I can be used to tell you about a one-day-only sale! Or about why my family trusts a particular person or product. You and I can chat daily or sometimes just on the weekend, but we never stop communicating. I may make you laugh, I can make you ponder, and sometimes I can bring just a hint of a tear to your eye. You'll find me lots of places, your car, your home, inside a store, on the beach. Where you won't find me is in a landfill, wrapped around fish, or at the bottom of a birdcage. I'm a radio commercial, and I could be yours.
To open a dialogue between you and your customers, call us today, 360-457-1450. Local radio, local listeners, professional marketing. Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim.
The North Peninsula's news. The North Peninsula's talk. Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Milwaukee, at her first rally, Vice President Kamala Harris outlined her candidacy, saying this year's presidential election comes down to choice as individuals and as a nation.
Do we want to live in a country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law? Or a country of chaos, fear, and hate?
2 days after President Biden announced he would step aside as the nominee, Harris has emerged as the presumptive nominee, getting the backing of enough delegates, she says, to secure the nomination, along with Democratic leaders who say there is renewed energy. The Harris campaign says it's raked in millions of donations in the past 24 hours. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more on who is donating.
The Harris campaign now says that $100 million has been raised from the moment that Vice President Harris jumped into the race through last night, which is a campaign record. And they are pointing out to us that 60% of those donations came from first-time donors.
Following the assassination attempt on Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania and criticism over security, Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle today resigned. Investigations continue into how a gunman flagged as suspicious before the rally was able to gain access to a rooftop and open fire. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
In a note to the workforce, she said she did not want to be a distraction. All the calls for her resignation, she didn't want that to distract from the mission of the Secret Service going forward. She said she accepts full responsibility for what she called the security lapse in Butler, Pennsylvania, and she said it's with a heavy heart that she does offer her resignation.
Near Capitol Hill at the Cannon House Office building, more than 100 protesters calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. It comes a day ahead of Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to a joint meeting of Congress. Earlier, Netanyahu met with American families of hostages held by Hamas. You're listening to ABC News.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Linda Thomas Greenfield, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, announced $60 million in additional humanitarian assistance to Haiti. The U.S. will also provide an increase in mine-resistant vehicles to a UN-backed multinational security mission to help quell widespread gang violence. Sales of existing homes was down 5.4% in June compared to last year. As for home prices, the median sales price is up over 4% from a year ago, just $437,000. People in Southern California trying to escape the excessive heat, learning that 2 popular beaches are now shut down.
15,000 gallons of sewage leaked into the ocean near Marina del Rey over the weekend, and parts of 2 popular beaches here, Venice Beach and Dockweiler State Beach, are now closed because the water is unsafe to be in. A broken pipe allowed raw sewage to flow into the ocean. It hurts businesses along the beaches, and marine experts say wildlife are feeding and nesting in the waters right now, and that sea life don't get the text alert that the water is unsafe. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The internet is back up, and clashes have subsided in Bangladesh after a ruling by the Supreme Court that scaled back on a job quota system. That old system sparked deadly clashes between students and police. But student protesters say they will continue demonstrations unless the government releases student leaders who are detained. I'm Michelle Franzen.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Northwest Eye Surgeons is proud to announce that Dr. Max Solka is now offering refractive lens exchange surgery in Squim. Refractive lens exchange, or RLE, is a vision correction option to reduce or eliminate the need for glasses in those over age 40. In addition to RLE, Dr. Solka specializes in cataract surgery, glaucoma surgery, and treatment of eye diseases. New patients are welcome. Call today to schedule 800-826-4631 or online at nweyes.com.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. A fast-spreading brush fire caused some tense moments for neighbors in West Port Angeles last night. The fire burned in a field near the 1700 block of West 14th Street. Initial reports of smoke about 6:20 Monday evening quickly escalated as flames driven by wind threatening nearby structures. Port Angeles Fire Department called in mutual aid from Clallam 2 Fire Rescue. Also, fire crews from Clallam County Fire District 3 in Squim and 4 in Joyce. The fire was threatening a number of homes, and there were evacuations of those homes just in case. Crews were able to save structures from burning. Fences did burn, and about 5 acres of brush and grass burned as well. PA Police Department now investigating the cause.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Ample sunshine expected this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 64. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 64. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times and dry Thursday and Friday. Low 60s. Thursday, mid 60s by Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 67 Saturday, 67 Sunday, and 68 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 66.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome once again to our show, the first part of the program today. My pleasure to have Clallam County Sheriff Brian King in joining us. We're going to talk about a number of things involved, some news items that have popped up as over the last few weeks, and a little bit about medical provisions, really, in the jail. We'll get to that in just a bit. But Brian, good to see you again. Thanks for coming in, as always.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here. I want to start with a little bit, I guess, news of the day, and that has to do with people were following yesterday, the big meeting with the county commissioners about what to do with the dog shelter that Olympic Peninsula Humane Society is going to be shutting down, what that effect might be. And I specifically just wanted you to maybe reiterate some of the concerns that come from the law enforcement side of this, and especially animal control, because I'm sure you're getting this. It's like, well, what happens when you don't have a place to take an animal that needs to be taken in?
Yeah, so internally, since being advised by the Humane Society that they were closing their services, and specifically to law enforcement, and the contract that we did have with the Humane Society, we've had to put the brain trust together and really discuss options. And so there haven't been any really good options, especially when it comes to the licensing requirements for those dangerous animals and where you're going to take those dangerous animals that we have to impound or put animals into quarantine. That we learned of a lot more options yesterday in the commissioners meeting, and we learned that there's a lot of organizations, animal welfare organizations, that are willing to step up to the plate. There's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of in the immediate. We don't have any great solutions. If we were to get a call for a vicious animal that inflicted a bite today, we'd really be on the phones looking for other out-of-county resources that could accept that animal on our behalf. And so Tracy Kellis, our animal control officer, has always done a really, really good job of checking that resource list, hitting the phones. We've had some significant hoarding cases where those hoarding cases would even exceed the capacity of the Humane Society. Sometimes looking at having to seize 200 animals, which is a case we had recently. Yeah. So we have some emergent provisions, I would say, in place in the short term to try to get us through what I see as really, I'm not shy about this. This is a real crisis. And I think as a community, we need to come together and look for real solutions. Otherwise, the ability to control animal populations is going to get out of control.
Yeah. And you statutorily have some obligations. I mean, when you talk about vicious dogs, I mean, you just alluded to one. If you have a bite issue or something like that, the law says you have to do certain things.
Yes.
And that includes getting them into a quarantine or getting them out of quote unquote society, at least temporarily.
Yeah, so absolutely. And so, when we were told that the services were no longer going to be provided, that's one of the first thing we did is reached out to my legal advisors, which is the prosecutor's office and their civil division, and saying, okay, what are our liabilities? Can you help us parse this out? Can we make sure that we are going to still meet our statutory obligations? And we have county codes that say we may do certain things in these situations versus you shall do certain things in these situations. And so we've had to parse that out, come up with solutions internally. And I think in the end, we're really just going to have to rely on the goodwill and the partnerships that we've created over time to look for creative solutions every time we encounter these things. But it's going to be extremely challenging for a while.
I would gather, and I'm not to put words in your mouth, but you might be a couple of cases away from not being able to do a whole lot. I mean, you'll have to do what you do, but there's not any capacity, really. Maybe you can handle one here and there, but if you get a few of these piled up, that might be a real issue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in just looking at pulling some statistics over the last several years, there's really a lot of ebb and flow to, I believe the number in 2022 was, we had impounded 37 animals, and then in 23, that number drops to like 14 in a year. So there's really no consistent, measure there. But, we know that there's going to be at least one animal a month. We've been, real successful when it comes to dealing with the strays, rehoming strays. I mean, we carry a chip reader, we do all those things, like every other investigation you conduct an investigation, try to get the dog back to its home. But the challenges come with those animals that have the behavioral issues, especially which have inflicted bites and some of the statutory obligations we have to do to protect the public.
Yeah. Suffice to say, Clallam County needs some sort of a shelter, is what it comes down to, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think our citizens and our county government recognize that. And I think that there's solutions out there. It's really, we had some discussions yesterday. We're going to reinvigorate the Animal Issues Advisory Committee and really, look at a focus of making it solutions oriented, where this is really going to be really the first topic. This board, this committee had been disbanded, and I believe it was 2017, just for inactivity, not a lot of interest, and it's the perfect opportunity to reinvigorate folks, bring them to the table, and just be solutions driven. And by the discussion yesterday, it was a very robust conversation, and I think many folks, there's a lot of interest out there. This has been the hot
certainly
topic.
Was, yeah. We were talking before we went on the air. Just that both Brian and I were amazed at just how many animal welfare groups showed up at this meeting. We didn't really know half of them probably were around.
Yeah. I always go like, boy, has my head been in the sand.
Yeah.
But we know those groups like WAG, and we know those groups like Humane Society and Friends of Forks Animals, and some of those consistencies. But there were a lot of people that came out of the woodwork that are doing great work, that have good ideas, and we want to find ways to support those ideas.
All right. One other note, and then we're going to take a break, and then I want to get into the medical stuff with the jail because it's an interesting program. But I just want to get your take because there's been a couple chases lately, and this is since the law has been reverted back to pursuits. And just your thoughts from your agency, how that's working, and maybe, illustrative of some things. I mean, there's been some folks that I think have been chased down and taken off the streets that normally wouldn't have been, and they've had, some records, basically. I mean, they're not necessarily people that we probably would want wandering around in some cases. So just, a month into this now, how is it going?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's some of the pursuits that have occurred are a testament to why we needed to be able to do this and why we couldn't lose this tool. They were conducted in, the safest manner possible, which we train on extensively. The city of Port Angeles has had more pursuits than we have,
right?
Since the law has changed. But these are all bad actors that are operating in our community, and not having that tool available in any of these situations would have not led to the apprehension of somebody that needed to be in jail.
Do you think the word's going to filter down to these folks that, by the way, we can pursue you? Because I think, quite frankly, for the 2 or 3 years where that wasn't, that they knew that. I mean, they knew they could take a car, for example, and not get chased.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, when we were prohibited from pursuing, we heard examples from around the state of where, a fleeing felon, a fleeing criminal would call 911 to say, hey, the cops are violating the law because they're following me now.
Yeah.
We had some very narrow exceptions, but I feel that, that message is coming on quite strong and kind of resonating in that part of society that chooses not to obey our laws. And I think that overall it'll be interesting to see. We recently had our state crime stats provided to us by our professional associations come out. I haven't been able to dissect yet all of those stats, but it's going to be truly interesting to see what the cause and effect of was this in 1 year after re-implementation of the pursuits. And my hope is that, we are going to see a reduction in car thefts. We still don't have a huge problem here, but we have more thefts than what we did a handful of years ago. But other parts of our state are still really suffering.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to talk about medical provisions for the jail and kind of some uniqueness there and what that's all about when we come back with Brian King. He's the Clallam County Sheriff, and we'll chat some more with him right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
When it comes to price and quality, nobody compares to Bathfitter Northwest. Over 40 years in business and 40,000 local remodels. Their own factory-trained installation team, no subs. And you always get their price match guarantee. Read their reviews. When it comes to an amazing, affordable bath in as little as 1 day, there's no comparison to Bathfitter. Now to celebrate their 40th anniversary, get $1,000 off. 800-NEW-BATH or bathfitternw.com.
Hi, I'm Kevin Vanderweg, your state senator and now a candidate for state lands commissioner. As a 25-year firefighter and chair of the Senate Natural Resources Committee, I know how destructive wildfires and wildfire smoke are to rural communities. I'm ready to lead the fight for better prevention and faster, more effective responses. We can't let wildfire get further out of control. I'd be honored to earn your vote.
Paid for by Kevin Vanderweg for State Lands Commissioner, Democrat.
Hi, my name's Randy Johnson, and I'm running for re-election as your District 2 County Commissioner. As your County Commissioner, I have worked hard on many challenges our community faces. I will continue to address issues such as affordable housing, child care, Veterans Affairs, and economic development. I am honored to have served you since 2017, and I ask for your vote for re-election as Clallam County Commissioner, District 2.
Paid for by the committee to elect Randy Johnson for County Commissioner.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, we wear a lot of different hats. We're investigators, analysts, and the protectors of property rights. We seek a high standard of accuracy. Our commitment to exceptional service strengthens our mission. We reduce risk. We stay on top of the current issues affecting property rights. We sweat the small stuff to give our customers the peace of mind they deserve. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title, locally owned and family run since 1981.
All right, one more segment with Brian King, Clallam County Sheriff. We're going to talk a little bit about some jail stuff and specifically about medical services in the jail. I guess you perhaps could call it kind of a unique distribution of medical services there. So with that said, I'm going to just let you lay out for us, because I think this is a big issue when when folks get incarcerated, you have a lot of health problems that come with that. Unfortunately, that's just part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Methamphetamine, opioid addiction, alcoholism cause a lot of underlying health conditions, and it becomes a challenge in the incarceral setting as it is out in the community to provide effective treatment. And part of our mission in the jail has always been how can we reduce recidivism, knowing that your addiction plays a large part in your criminality. And as sheriff, I want to reduce the number of victims in our community every single day. And so we're undertaking a new initiative. It's a Medicaid transformation project. So it's really a Medicaid waiver that we're really going to focus on. And over the course of the next year, we're going to look at what services can be reimbursed. And so this is a project that we're undertaking now with the Healthcare Authority. We brought on a project lead, somebody who is pretty familiar to the county, Rich Meyer. He's a retired Orange County sheriff's deputy, longtime sheriff's department administrator who has a proven track record with the county and moving projects forward. He's done a couple of things, and when I said, hey, we're going to be a part of this transformation project and contacted the HCA, Rich was in the back of my mind because I knew that this was going to be a heavy lift and a lot of hard work. So
how does this work then? I mean, maybe you can lay it out as it is before, and then what hopefully will be after this gets implemented.
So it's a really interesting process, and we were pulled on early in the year. The jails from around the state really didn't have a seat at the table as the rulemakings were occurring with this Medicaid waiver. Knowing that it was aimed at us and knowing that it was aimed at really combating the opioid epidemic. And so, but once we had that seat at the table and we jumped in on it early, just because of the challenges of jail medical, and at the time, there's close to $1 million a year that come out of general fund dollars to support our efforts, and so I looked at this as an opportunity not only to provide a greater level of service, but be able to return those dollars to the general fund and to the taxpayer coffers for other uses besides that.
And before you go any further, anybody who's followed this story, I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, this is a huge expense that comes through the jail. It's a requirement. You got to do it, and it's not getting any cheaper. In fact, it's getting exponentially more expensive. It's been that way for many years.
Absolutely. We were the chief, Chief Wenzel, and I have been calculating rates and medical costs a day, and really it's costing us about $30 to $40 per incarcerated individual per day on that jail medical component. And our average daily bed rate, the cost has jumped up to about $175 a day when you take into account that jail medical component. So we were fortunate. There's actually 3 cohorts that are working with the HCA to implement billing for Medicaid. There are a lot of rules that we don't know yet. We want to know exactly what services and what treatment we can provide. Are we going to be able to reimburse for nursing costs and recoup some of those dollars? So we are in cohort number 1, which means we will go live with a transformation process in July of 25. We have several performance measures that we got to meet to go live. But we have what I presented to the commissioners yesterday was a contract for $2.25 million in potential reimbursement costs from the HCA in order to get us to a point to where we can get Medicaid reimbursement. So really the intent of this too is to provide, re-entry services for incarcerated individuals, because there always and continues to be this gap between the treatment that we are providing as far as treating addiction and mental health in the jail, and then upon release, which release can be pretty unpredictable, what are the gaps if somebody wants to continue that treatment? We get people sober, we get people on a treatment plan, but upon release, they don't have that level of support. So over time, as we build this process, we build this project out, we're going to work a lot with our community partners, see what services they provide, staff up to be able to ensure that those gaps don't exist. And so we're beginning those conversations right now, and it's exciting. I think the measures are going to be, can we truly reduce recidivism? And then we begin to look at overdose statistics and all those other performance measures that we're looking at to see if this is truly a worthwhile investment.
The question I think most people would have is say, well, does that inmate have to be a Medicaid qualified person? I mean, if you have somebody that doesn't meet Medicaid income standards, for example, how does that work?
Yeah, so there'll be an intake process, and we'll have staff available to really to look at that. But we're one of only 2 jails in the state that actually have Epic medical records access to us, and and that helps us with our medical services. And so we've had that for several years. But just looking at what we can pull out of Epic lawfully, we believe conservatively that 70% of our population.
I think just anecdotally, I mean, that's the population.
Yeah,
right?
And our numbers could be even far higher for that, because there is folks that won't participate in that aspect of providing that detailed of information, which they're not required to do so, and so. I believe that a large percentage of the medical services we provide, number one, can be reimbursed, but number 2, can be provided at a greater level of service to actually try to maybe affect some change, because something's got to happen with this epidemic.
Yeah, it's going to crush you budgetarily. Yes. I mean, eventually it's just going to implode on things. I think a lot of folks may have been surprised even at hearing this, that wasn't happening already, that there wasn't some sort of a reimbursement, that this is all on the back of the county, basically, right now.
The minute you become incarcerated, any medical benefit that you have stops. And so, that just ceases to exist, and then there's a process for your restarts. One of the challenges early on, the HCA said, well, you can't start anybody on this program 90 days pre-release, and we're like, well, our average stay is far less than 90 days oftentimes. So fortunately the HCA listened to us. They said okay, because all the jails in the state had a less than 90-day stay that you can start your incarcerated individuals on this program immediately. Yeah. So that was a positive change because we might not have been so excited about the opportunity, but the ability to potentially provide quality medical care on top of behavioral health services that will continue upon release. There's a potential game changer there if on the outside the capacity still exists to provide those services, and that's a whole nother challenge.
All right. We will follow this story because obviously it's developing as we go. A very interesting turn of events there with the medical care at the jail. Brian, it's great to have you. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you,
filling in on everything going on with your department there. Brian King, Clallam County Sheriff. We're going to take a break and be back with more after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Have you been searching and searching for anyone to install, repair, or replace your windows? What about looking for someone to install a new exterior door? And what about a skylight, or a new glass shower enclosure, or even a glass railing system? It can be hard, if not near impossible, to just get a call back. We at Hartnagel Building Supply sympathize with just how difficult it can be to get fast and dependable glass services. It's why we created our newest division, Hartnagel Glassworks. With over 80 years of combined experience, our team is ready and excited to help you on your next project. Whether it's big or small, residential or commercial, installation or repair, we can pretty much handle anything related to glass. Contact us today at 360-417-8388 or at hbsglassworks.com. Angeles Millwork and Hartnagel Building Supply. Building homes, building community since 1906.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Danny Van Vliet. A wildfire in Ferry County was started by lightning last week has already torched over 5,500 acres. The Swawila fire ignited on June 17th and is burning in tall grass, brush, and mixed timber approximately 9 miles southwest of Keller on the Colville Indian Reservation. The blaze has prompted level 2 and 3 evacuation notices from homes in Kearns Canyon area and has also forced a 6-mile stretch of State Route 21 to close. In addition, the fire has halted services to the Keller Ferry indefinitely. The fire is predicted to move aggressively in a northerly direction for the beginning of this week. Garfield County is finalizing a $2.5 million settlement with the family of Kyle Lara, a man who died in jail in 2022. Lara's family agreed to a payout after authorities reported that he hanged himself in his cell in April of 22. While awaiting trial. His body was discovered more than 18 hours after his death. And a woman has been charged in connection with an arson fire in Tacoma over the weekend. Police say the suspect was caught on video just before the blaze on Saturday morning and later returned to the scene on Sunday. The woman now faces multiple charges, including burglary and possession of stolen property. For more, download our free WSN mobile app or WashingtonStateNews.net.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I taught for 20 years, until I started forgetting my lectures.
Eventually, he had to quit. Getting his early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard, but it gave us time to take control of the situation, together.
I can't imagine going through this without him.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Ample sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 64. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 64. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times and dry Thursday and Friday. Low 60s Thursday, mid 60s by Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 67 Saturday, 67 Sunday, and 68 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 66.
Welcome back to the program. We had hoped to get one of the authors on from the new book, Played, The Games of the 1936 Berlin Olympics. A fascinating book, but unfortunately we've been unable to make a connection with them, so we're going to reboot and regroup and hopefully get somebody on from there. I'm hoping that they're going to call in here, so we'll take an extra break and be back with more on the show right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
Hello, I'm Graham Ralston, independent candidate for Congress in Washington's 6th District. I spent 7 years in Washington, D.C. as a senior federal executive. I know what does and doesn't work. I'm a fifth-generation resident of Port Angeles. My top priorities are getting Congress to work, fighting inflation, working on housing, and boosting the local economy. Visit voteralston.com to learn more.
Paid for by Ralston for Congress.
Hi, my name's Adam Birnbaum, and I'm running for state representative in the 24th Legislative District. Too many people in our community are struggling. We need less ideological extremism and more bipartisanship. My campaign is about working with everyone to build affordable housing, create well-paying jobs, and improve our healthcare system. Our district deserves a candidate who will focus on common-sense solutions to the most important issues in our community. Learn more at electadambirnbaum.com.
Paid for by Elect Adam Birnbaum, Democrat.
Hi, I'm Bill Benedict. I served as Clallam County Sheriff with Randy Johnson as District 2 County Commissioner for 8 years. He is an exceptionally talented community leader who puts the welfare of his constituents first. Randy's solid business and administrative background has brought great benefit to the county, and his fiscal restraint has helped keep the county debt-free. Clallam County needs the proven leadership, accountability, and political independence of Randy Johnson to continue as District 2 County Commissioner. Please join me in re-electing Randy Johnson.
Paid for by the committee to elect Randy Johnson for County Commissioner.
You don't have to travel to receive quality-efficient CPAP and BiPAP fittings, setups, and follow-up visits. At Jim's Pharmacy, our licensed practical nurse Simone is dedicated to making sure your days are active and your nights are worry-free, and will call you regarding your resupply orders. We also work with ResMed AirSense and AirCurb devices and carry a full range of products from nebulizers to oxygen concentrators. Call us at 457-3462. Jim's, your locally run independent pharmacy since 1983.
Okay, welcome back to the show. We've shuffled things up just a bit. We have on the line Mandy Fair. She is with Sway Wild, one of the duo that is Sway Wild, to talk to us a bit about the show they have ready for us here in Port Angeles on Thursday. That's going to be on the at Field Hall. So, Mandy, good to see you. Have you on today. Thanks for coming on a little earlier than we had expected.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Grateful to talk to you.
All right, so let's talk about Sway Wild. This is you're a unique group. You're an indie kind of folk pop-ish group, I guess, is a way to describe it. But why don't you describe what you bring when you come out and play for folks?
Yeah, like many artists, it can be a little bit challenging to put one single genre on what we do. Which is why I think you named three. Thank you for that. So what folks can expect when they come on Thursday to Field Hall is we are basically we call ourselves a power duo. So the setup is myself on electric guitar and vocals, and then my partner Dave plays drums and sings as well, and he will be switching between the drums and acoustic guitar and singing and leading songs. And we touch on anything from like really intimate lyrical stuff to more funky rockin' stuff that can get your body moving. Like I'll play an octave pedal and some kind of bass lines as well as leads, and we kind of try and touch on all different kinds of sounds throughout the show. So yeah, it's a variety of things: indie, folk, Americana, rock, funk, all the feels.
Okay, so tell us a bit about how you got started. How did you and Dave get this thing put together?
Yeah, this specific show, this Thursday, July 25th, is Dave and my 14-year anniversary. So y'all didn't know it when we booked the show, but it's our anniversary party.
There you go.
But when we first met, we were living in the town of Flagstaff, Arizona. Have you been there before?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you're familiar. It's just outside of the Grand Canyon area, up in the high desert, beautiful part of the country. And it's a smaller town compared to like a big city where folks are doing music. So Dave and I had heard about each other playing in different musical outfits, and we met and started playing some music together. The first show that we ever played together was opening for my friend Allison Russell 14 years ago in her old band Poe Girl, and sparks kind of flew after some music was made, and it's been a beautiful 14 years. We moved from Arizona to San Juan Island about 12 years ago out in Washington.
Yeah, I was just going to get that, but you're actually a Washingtonian now, so there you go. Has that change in geography affected things for you at all, musically or your approach or anything like that?
My skin is a lot less dry, and that makes me happy. But I think that there's no way we haven't been affected by being up here. I think so much of what we write is place-based writing. So, songs about the sea or living on an island, definitely, it comes through, the content comes through. And, but I think it's all of the experiences that we have along the road. We live on this island here, but we're not here often because we're touring quite a bit. So we feel just so grateful to be able to have all those experiences, and I believe that our job as artists is to try and pull from those experiences and be able to share and storytell from them and learn from them, of course.
So a lot of people will say, well, you're a duo. How do you pull that off? So I'll ask that same question. You described how you do this, but you have a pretty full sound. I've watched some clips of you perform live. People will be very impressed that two people are doing that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I think whenever one is in one's world, I feel like Dave and I are so in our space. Like we've been doing this together for 14 years, and we're just like, this is what we do, and then some perspective on it. It's always important to have that. But we started as a duo 14 years ago, mainly with Dave on the guitar and singing, and then he recently went back to the drums like 5 years ago, and that's when we changed our band's name from Dave McGraw and Mandy Fair to Sway Wild, because it felt like more of a band sound.
Okay.
Having that full, What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I get that. That's interesting. My next question was, why Sway Wild?
It's funny. I was doing an interview last week talking about it, and it's interesting to reflect upon it. I think when the shift was happening in our sound, and it's still the basis of our sound is always kind of the voices and our harmonies, but I think kind of the rhythms and the funky stuff felt like Sway Wild felt like a really nice fit in many different ways. One, it was really fun to say, and we enjoyed the words together. And it was also, the idea of it to us was a return to like our truest essence, which, Dave returning to the drums was him returning to an instrument he hadn't played in like 15, 20 years, and was like the main instrument that he communicated on when he was first coming into music in high school and college. And for me, sticking mostly to electric guitar and us communicating in a way that felt more like we were in our musical wilderness in a good way together. So we were like, okay, this is the thing. And then it turns out that after naming the band that, I recognized that I myself sway wildly when performing, and many people in the audience do as well. It's not like we're playing like hard rock stuff where people are going nuts, but I think a lot of people will sway to our music. So it feels like a good command to
All right.
embrace.
That makes total sense as well. Do you have a favorite style? I mean, as we said at the beginning, you kind of can't pigeonhole what you do into one thing, but do you have a style that you like to do particularly more than another?
I don't, which is so frustrating to answer it as such, but also really fun to be like, there's many different styles, like, I think that really influence what we do. And I think we came up, Dave and I, playing a lot more like folk stuff together, opening for bands like he was opening for Glenn Hansard or Gregory Alan Eiskopf, and we opened for Iron and Wine, and kind of that vibe where it's, I think whatever it is, if it's shared in a kind of, I hate the word unique, but I feel like music that kind of pushes the envelope in a way that is unexpected is something that we favor.
So when you come to this beautiful new facility, you're actually not going to be in the theater itself. You're going to be playing in the Sunset Lounge, which is this gorgeous view over the harbor, and people will be able to watch the sunset behind you and all of that as well. So I guess that said, have you thought about being in kind of that sort of a venue? It's a little bit different than being up on a traditional stage. They'll have a stage for you, by the way, but anyway, not in an auditorium
Amazing.
setting. Yeah.
Yes, Dave actually got to go check out the venue, I don't know, a couple months ago when he was dropping me off at the airport. I also performed with a songwriter named Amos Lee, and he was dropping me off for a tour with him, and then he went out to the mountains to camp for a couple nights and realized, oh my gosh, I should go check out this venue. And he said it's just gorgeous. So we will probably just turn around and have everyone looking at our backs. We'll just be looking at the view.
Why not? I do that, yeah.
Right? But for real, it's such an honor to, be able to be in this part of the world and get to look out at the beautiful views and be here. Often we're on the road this time of year, but this summer we specifically tried to stay in the Northwest a little bit more. Like we just played shows on Gleemus Island, Lopez, and Carnation, and being within a stone's throw from home in a time that's just so lovely. Like I'm sitting in my yard right now, like, wow, I was just in New Jersey where it was 95 and humid. It feels lovely.
I tell everybody, we pay for this in January, February, and then this is our payback middle. This beautiful weather we usually get about June, July, and August. So very good. You have, and we're going to play a song here in just a moment, but you've interacted with a lot of people. I just noticed in some of your songs you've got you've brought in some relatively heavy hitters in the world of music to be on some of your recordings as well. How has that happened for you? I always wonder how you get somebody like, and we're going to play Home here in just a minute, that has Sean Hayes featured in it.
Oh yeah, Sean's a dear friend. We've known Sean for. And I feel like what it is just the more we're on the road, the more people we meet, and it just becomes like. And it's funny. I said this to some folks, like it feels like we're meeting our family that we never knew we had, and just being able to resonate with one another. Like, how long have you been on the road? What's been your journey? Because there's no one way to do this music thing, And the bit of our path has been alternative. We moved to San Juan Island. To go full time with music, where a lot of people will like move to Nashville and LA, where it makes more sense because you can network more. But we were like, we want to plan ourselves here on the island where we can really reboot and write and make albums out here, and then go out and be out in the world. And but Sean, we've known through our friends Birds of Chicago, I think first, and
it's all a network,
being
isn't
out
it?
there in
it's all a network, right?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you because, as you just meant, you kind of did the converse way of things, where you didn't go to Nashville or to a music hub per se, and you went to a beautiful island to go live on. But wouldn't you agree, though, in this day and age, that it's a lot easier to do that in many ways because you don't need, you can have a studio in your computer nowadays and rival what you might have had to go move to, in order to get access to things.
Totally. And I think that's the reason to move. I mean, with the world of the internet and all of the things, we're able to share our art so much more. I mean, it's different because I'm not going to like a coffee date with a business person in Nashville. We have to be a little bit more intentional about how to shape that. And I love just knowing that there's so many different ways to go about it. And we're in a really global time right now with art and music, where we get to, I can just open my phone and see what someone's doing in Brazil right now in real time. And that's just incredible.
That is right. All right. We're going to have folks jump over to Field Art's website, fieldhallevents.org, and you can get all of the details on the show that's coming up on Thursday with Sway Wild, which includes who we're talking to today, Mandy Fair, and her partner, Dave McGraw. They put on a terrific show, and if you get a chance to go in what's going to be a fun setting, lots of refreshments, and just kind of a real chill vibe there. It's going to be, I think, flowing out of the Sunset Lounge area at Field Hall. Before we let you go, though, I told you I was going to play Home, featuring Sean Hayes. Tell us about this song. I always love to have the composers, the people who have put the song together, explain the song.
Yeah, this song came to be right around New Year's Eve. Oh man, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I was looking at a lot of like what home means for all of us. Home can mean such a different thing, and the privilege, myself and ourselves, Dave and I, of being able to have a home. We don't own a home, but we are able to live in one. And the tragedy of folks who aren't able to be in a home, whether or not the systems are set up where they're houseless. And also it was inspired by an image that I saw it was the most impactful images, I think, of 2017. And one of them was a woman walking through the desert in the Middle East amidst conflict with her family, waving a white flag, just signaling peace. And it was a really powerful and intense image. And just kind of putting together all of these ideas of, folks here who might have a little bit more privilege like myself, or a lot more privilege, who choose to leave home versus being displaced from home, and how just important it is for all of us to really honor and try and create home for one another.
A perfect setup. This gives everybody a little flavor of what you'll hear if you go see Sway Wild Thursday at Field Hall here in Port Angeles. Mandy, it's been great to have you on. Thanks for sharing some time with us, and safe travels across the water to us, all right?
Thank you so much. You have a good rest of your week.
You too. All right. That's Mandy Fair. Here you go. This is a little bit of what you'll hear. This is Home, which is from Sway Wild. Take a listen.
We were young, lighting a fire, knew what we wanted, set a blaze through the hills. We were running from a place we called home. The road was long, the burning embers kept me warm. Even when the rain fell down. But after a while, the geese fly by and you find yourself under them. Not here nor there, not there nor here, no. Choking on the tears he cried for home, home. No concrete floor, no key to lock, no door for no key. Just a blanket underfoot and sheets. Home, home, home.
Get out, man, learn to play. Take a chance when you move away. Here you are, man, feel it. You gotta get out your own way. Get scared, learn to get up on it anyway. No time, like your time, stronger, on and on and on.
Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Hi, I'm Kevin Vanderweg, your state senator and now a candidate for State Lands Commissioner. As a 25-year firefighter and chair of the Senate Natural Resources Committee, I know how destructive wildfires and wildfire smoke are to rural communities. I'm ready to lead the fight for better prevention and faster, more effective responses. We can't let wildfire get further out of control. I'd be honored to earn your vote.
Paid for by Kevin Vanderweg for State Lands Commissioner, Democrat.
Building a future, sharing a dream, working together, we're on the same team.
Are you tired of paying high interest rates on your consumer loans? Look no further than Straight View Credit Union. We're proud to offer the best consumer loan rates in Clallam County, so you can borrow what you need without breaking the bank. Whether you're looking to purchase a new car, make home improvements, or consolidate debt, we've got you covered. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through the loan process and help you find a payment plan that works for your budget. Plus, as a member-owned cooperative, we prioritize your financial well-being over profits. Join us today and experience the Straight View Credit Union difference. Visit us online at svcu.com or in person to apply for your consumer loan today. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
It's summertime and Swain's is ready for you with so many things you'll need for these hot summer months. At their summer sale, you'll see women's sandals by Born, BOC, and Soft for 30% off, saving you a whopping $32 off on some styles. Men's and women's Chaco sandals are 20% off, and Roxy flip-flops and casual shoes are 20% off too. Check out all of our outdoor summer supplies as well. Kids camp chairs, mosquito repellent, and much more. Now at Swain's Summer Sale.
Calling all thrill seekers. Sprint boat racing at the Extreme Sports Park is back on July 27th and 28th. The Steel America Sprint Boat races will be heard all across town. The jaw-dropping explosion of power as these boats twist and turn to navigate the track will blow your mind. The pre-race skydivers will kick off the action, and then you'll see the West Coast Surf Riders and the PNW Water X racer groups showing off their freestyle skills during halftime. Tickets available online now at extremesportspark.net.
Clallam PUD announces the Clean Energy Credits for Washington Families program, which will offer bill credits of $200 per household to eligible residential customers. Visit clallampud.net for more information. This following notice is required per Department of Commerce grant condition. The Clean Energy Credits for Washington Families program is supported with funding from Washington's Climate Commitment Act. The CCA supports Washington's climate action efforts by putting cap and invest dollars to work, reducing climate pollution, creating jobs, and improving public health. Information about the CCA is available at www.climate.com.
Most people think child abuse is a bad parent problem.
Actually, the root causes may be different than you think.
Let us explain. Affordable housing for everyone?
That prevents child abuse. And access to healthcare in every community.
Prevents child abuse too. High quality, affordable childcare.
Paid family leave.
School breakfast and lunch programs.
All of this prevents child abuse.
It's all about keeping families out of crisis in the first place.
At least 1 in 7 children in the United States have experienced abuse or neglect in the past year. Prevent Child Abuse America promotes policies, programs, and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
we prevent child abuse
from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more.
That's preventchildabuse.org.
Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
Online at myclallamcounty.com.
Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. Vice President Kamala Harris making a campaign stop in the battleground state of Wisconsin. Her first rally as the presumptive Democratic nominee for president, saying she's ready to take on Donald Trump.
I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
ABC's Mary Bruce is at the rally in Milwaukee, where they needed a larger venue to accommodate the supporters.
She, of course, started out, praising President Biden, thanking him